With the Quest Pro being discontinued at the end of last year, there's now a massive hole in the market for an eye and face tracking capable headset. Maybe you're just someone looking to get into it, or maybe you want a backup in case your Quest Pro fails. You could always try finding a used one somewhere like eBay, but I wouldn't be surprised if those end up going the way of the Vive Pro Eye and end up with super inflated prices. Guess you better try and find a different headset. Unfortunately, there aren't a ton of options that can do both eye and face tracking without third-party add-ons. The Pico 4 Pro isn't super available anymore, and the Vive Focus Vision isn't the most appealing headset if you've ever used anything more modern. That leaves the Vive XR Elite, which isn't the worst headset on earth. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps out a lot. I plan on focusing more on long-form videos this year, so stick around if you want to see them. On paper, the Quest Pro and XR Elite are two very similar headsets. Both use pancake lenses, both have extremely similar resolutions, both have something that tends to break on them, and of course, both are capable of eye and face tracking. The Quest Pro has it built in, while the Vive XR Elite requires an add-on. This causes the XRE to end up being a little bit more expensive at $1,100 compared to the Quest Pro's $1,000. That's really unfortunate, because the Quest Pro is just the better headset. It has better lenses that give you more FOV and better edge-to-edge clarity. While both headsets have very similar resolutions, the Quest Pro uses QLED panels, so it's capable of local dimming, which gives you better black levels and contrast as compared to the XR Elite's LCDs. The Touch Pro controllers that come with the Quest Pro are also in theory better than the XR Elite's controllers. They're capable of tracking themselves, but in practice that usually doesn't end up working out, since Meta seems to find new ways to break them every time they push out a software update. Just because the Pro is better doesn't mean the XR Elite's a bad headset. The only thing with it I think is truly a problem is the FOV. Without the facial tracker in, it's pretty bad, but with it, it somehow gets even worse. You can barely see the mute icon in the corner of VR chat with it in. There are some things I consider improvements over the Quest Pro. The speakers, smaller form factor, and hot swappable batteries are all great. One last thing before we get into the actual facial tracking. Both of these headsets have a tendency to just break. With the Quest Pro, it's the facial tracker shorting out. It's caused by moisture getting into this, and that can be sourced from talking, breathing, sweating, drinking, overall just using the headset. With the XR Elite, the arms on it can just crack in half. Thankfully, that's a lot more of a user-serviceable problem. HTC sells replacement arms through iFixit, or you can just 3D print new ones that let you use the XR Elite with Quest head straps. Now to the face tracking. I'll let you decide how it compares before I try and say anything about it. I think that the mouth tracking actually ends up looking pretty similar. The only differences are that the XR Elite has better tongue tracking and can individually puff out each cheek, and the Quest Pro supports nose sneer as a blend shape. I guess the XR Elite might be a bit better if you're looking to blow someone. Where things don't look super similar is the eye tracking. The Quest Pro's is just better. It handles blinking way better, it has eye widen, and it also supports eyebrow tracking. The XR Elite in theory should have eye widen and also pupil dilation, but I believe both of those are disabled currently. HTC has been updating the eye tracking on the Focus Vision and porting those updates to the XR Elite, so in the future we might see it get better, but I wouldn't count on it. When you have the option, always go for the headset with better eye tracking. Face tracking is way easier to add on later. That might change in the future if Inzai ever launches their eye tracking modules, or if iTrack VR ever starts selling assembled kits. But currently, to add eye tracking to a headset, you have to build it yourself. Also, don't be expecting to use Virtual Desktop for the XR Elite's eye and face tracking. That, alongside hand tracking and pass-through, just aren't supported on HTC headsets. I think it's really stupid that it's the same price as on Meta headsets when you're getting a less functional piece of software. In my opinion, this is made worse by the fact that they make no mention of this anywhere on the store page for HTC headsets. You also can't get refunds through Viveport. One last thing, if you're using eye and face tracking, this battery cradle right here, useless. You'll get maybe 30 to 45 minutes of battery life, so if you want to make the headset actually usable, plan on getting some battery packs to plug straight into the headset, or just use the headset cabled. So, is the XR Elite worth it if you want eye and face tracking? Well, that probably depends on when you're watching this. You've seen how both headsets handle eye and face tracking, and if you ask me, the Quest Pro does it quite a bit better. As of now, you can still find Quest Pros both new and used for normal prices. If you end up going used, just pray the face tracking isn't broken. In the future, that probably won't be the case, so the XR Elite might be worth considering. I'd say at the full price of $1,100, I probably wouldn't be that happy with it. I personally paid $360 for mine, but I still think I would have been happy in the $500 range. Keep in mind though, you still need to buy the $200 face tracking add-on to get the eye and face tracking. If you're still considering an XR Elite, I recommend you check out my video on it specifically. I still think that eventually a Quest 3 might end up being a better option. If Inzai ever starts selling their eye tracking kits, or if iTrack VR ever starts selling assembled kits, that won't be hard to add on. Project Babel is already selling kits to add face tracking to any headset. If you're completely against doing any sort of projects like that, then I guess maybe the XR Elite would be a better option for you. I personally think it's a damn shame Meta discontinued the Quest Pro, but I mean, there's not much we can do about it except hope that something better comes around. Asus, save us. Oh hey, I have channel memberships now. So if you subscribe to that, right now the only perk you're gonna get is that you'll see my videos early. And by early, I mean you'll see them in the time in between I actually get my thumbnail after finishing the video. Eventually I will be uploading exclusive videos, mainly just behind the scenes stuff. I might also include myself swearing every time I mess up reading the script. Either way, if you want to support the channel even more than just subscribing, then that's a great way.